just keep in mind, all the coding you write, okay, no matter it's VB, C++, Java, or Python, you write for someone else to read, because most likely you are not the person who try to debug or maintain the system. Okay, so in order to help people to understand your code better, you should always keep in mind, add comments. Okay, so I have graded some of your lattice selection and also case 1 or case 2. Now, if I already grade your project, if I already give you 100, I'm not going to modify your grades. But if I haven't graded your homework yet, keep in mind you should have comments. Without comments, you should not get 100. Okay, unfortunately. Okay, because a perfect code always should involve comments to let someone else to understand your code. Okay, so we're going to do the project for chapter 4 for the next I think 3 classes. Okay, today's class we start a little bit, then next week we're gonna finish this user interface, and then Wednesday class we can do the coding part. So at least 3 classes we are going to work for the chapter 4, and from now on, chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 6, 7, 8 will actually 8 will be optional. So 4, 5, 6, 7 we have 4 chapters. There will be, what do you say, 1 project for each chapter. Okay, so it's not just like a chapter 2 and 3. You do lattice selection for two chapters. Now it's like every chapter has its own chapter projects. Okay, although the book didn't tell us how to do the user interface, but we're gonna do together. As you can see here, this user interface should look like this. So the user interface should be, so those should be the label. Okay, we should have a label here. We should have another label right here. This is another label. This is another label. This one is a text box. Okay, the text box allow us to type the number inside. We use text box in our calculator, right? So it should not be like the first time you use your text box. And we have a label right here, right? We have a label right here. So to display the result, okay? And then just like when you do the lattice selection, you're going to change the name and you're going to modify all these properties. And you have the 3 buttons: find cost, clear, and exit. Now, because you have 3 buttons, which means later on when you do the coding part, you should have at least the 3 blocks of code. Or you can say subprogram, or you can say procedure, or you can say functions, whatever you call. Okay, procedures, function, method, they just have different names, but each block they do certain things. Okay, so if I do the find the cost, as you can see here, bottom cost, we're going to do those part. Clear, we're going to do this part, and the exit, we're going to do this part. Okay, so and also next part, this part is image box, picture box. So what we will do is we're going to do from scratch. Okay, we're going to do from scratch to create our user interface. So right now it's 12:15. We are going to use the next 25 minutes to do as much as we can. Okay, I close the window, I'm going to close everything and I start from scratch. Okay. Okay, I'm going to open my Visual Studio 2017. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Now, first thing first, you are going to create a project under the Visual Basic. You cannot use Visual C# because some people, when I see your mistake, if you see a file with .cs instead of .vb, that means you're creating a project under Visual C#. Okay, which is not good. Okay, you're gonna have to choose the right project. So when you create a new project, you can either select from here, right? Because we recently create our Windows Form app on the baby. But if you want to make sure everything works fine, you click File, click New, and click Project. Okay, that is like the safest way to go from here. Okay, File, new and project. Now it will pop up this. So unfortunately, some people did not see what's on the left side, and they choose under the Visual C#. Now, if you do that, your file should be .cs instead of .vb. So we have to make sure on our left side is .vb, and then you click Windows Desktop, and you're going to choose Windows Form app, and with the Panacea.NET framework. So after that, we are going to give a name. Okay. Name should be, okay, and don't use the Windows app too. Okay, do not use the default name, because every project we do have its own name. The name we should do like beach bike rental. Beach bike rentals. Okay, beach bike rentals. Now you give a name, and then you choose a location where you want to have it. Okay, this is very important. By default, it is always installed, saved under username source.repos. We don't want it. I don't want it, at least. I want to save on my spring 2022 folder, CSP 125 right here. So now I have my first step ready. Okay, so I click OK. So it will take a minute to generate your framework. Okay, so now as you can see, this is my automatically give me a form1.vb. As you can see here, right now I should have form1.vb on my left side. If you don't have Solution Explorer, now if you do not have Solution Explorer, then what you should do is you go to the view on the top, you go to the view and you click Solution Explorer, and it will show your Solution Explorer on the right side, because it is very important to see. Okay, because some people can, if I look around, you see you have a form1.cs instead of .vb. So if you have .cs, that means you start wrong from the beginning. Okay. Now we have this. Now we're gonna change, the name. The first step we do is we're gonna change the name of baby. We don't want to have form1.baby. Okay, we want to have its own name. And also from what we have learned for the past 2.5 weeks, right? Now we have some prefixed for every object. If I have a form, I start with FRM. Now if I have a label, I will start with LBL. If I have text box, I start with TXT, right? If I have button, it start with BTN. So those prefix is just for user-friendly purpose. Okay. Now if you don't change the name, it will still work fine. But you do keep one thing in mind. Now in the future, if you want to be a programmer, you want to write a user-friendly code. Okay. One basic rule of a user-friendly code is to provide an easy understanding name and also add as many comments as possible. When we do the coding part, okay, which will be probably next Wednesday. Okay, so we're gonna move our cursor to the form1, right-click your mouse and click rename. Okay, we're gonna change the name. The name I will change to FRM bike. Okay, click enter. So it tells you you are renaming a file. Would you like to perform a rename in this project of reference to the code element form1? You should say yes. So we have this. Okay, so this is a file name, change it. Okay, we're gonna next step. Yes, Gavin.
I got a failure when I renamed them. Yeah, there's an error. Yeah, I renamed it.
Okay, so it's not from beginning. We have guidance yet. Just close this one, and then we close. We do the new project. Click the Visual Studio. Yeah, go to recent project template. Are you sure it's so why don't you go to here? It's safer. Go to here. Oh, here, right here. Maybe?
Yeah.
Yes. Go to view music and go to windows and go to this one. Let's give a name. What's the name of this? Beach bike rental. Please continue.
We did 2017 too.
It doesn't matter if you had 2017, then definitely have no issue. I have 2017 here.
No, I was gonna say you can try opening the file on 2017 instead of 2019. I only have 2019.
Wait, just do one. Show me. So you delete it.
Yeah.
You delete it?
Yeah, I mean, again.
Not one. We have this one. We do this one. Okay, so you know what you should do next. Let's go to the test part of the whole one to change the. That's so weird. Okay, go to the view section and make the property window open. Property window. Here, okay. Okay. Now, once you have the form one ready, right, the next step we do is we're gonna change the text. Okay, because as you can see here, now inside of my form back.vb, my text is this part. This is like title part here. I still have form one. We don't want form one here. We want have certain things. So in order to do so, we go to the text property, go to the property part, go to the text property. Instead of form one right here, we're gonna modify the name. The name I want to change will be Beach Bike Rental. Beach Bike Rentals. As you can see, it automatically appears right here. So you know, forms text is in charge of that title out there. Okay. So we have this part. Now I'm gonna start to, we can change the background color because if you see that, it should be like some kind of like a, okay, wait a second. I can show you in the book. What happened? Why is it so slow? Okay. In the book, as you can see, your work should look like this. Okay, so that's your finalized work. Okay, Beach Bike Rental. So what we can do is we can change the background color. Okay, go to the here, click this frame, a form, and we go to the background color, back color, which is called back color. Okay, you see here, I make my properties appear in the alphabetic order. So it will be easy for me to just find out where's my property. So I highly recommend you to go, do the alphabetic order. So in the back order, so I am going to choose under the web tab, I will click white. Okay, again, so when you select this form, you go to the back color property and then go to the back color property and click web and change to the white. Okay, so that is how you change the background color of this form. Okay, so after that, we are going to resize this form. How do we resize? Still on the property, we're gonna modify the property size. Go down. There's a size here. As you can see here, by default, the size is 818,497. So you should change the size to 420, 500. So as you can see here, the window looks like this: 400, 420, 500. So later on, we need to probably resize it because, as you can see, probably it's too small because we do need to contain 3 buttons, right? 1 image and also several labels and 1 text box. Okay. Now we resize this. Next part is it will ask you to add a picture box. So I'm gonna add a picture box here. Go down. The picture box. Okay, we can drag the picture box to the bottom. Right here. Okay, the picture box should be, now if you look at the book, now it should look like this. This is a picture box. Almost half, less than half of the window or form should be the picture. So I will go back to here. This is my picture box. I'm going to drag and make it appear, drag it right here. And also, if you want, this is a picture box. I can see its name is picture box 1. So what you can do is you can rename it and also resize it. Just provide the size directly. So instead of your drag, you can provide size directly. So first of all, as you can see, when I drag my picture box here, the name is picture box 1. So we're gonna go up. The name is always on the up. So instead of picture box 1, I double click, I can modify the name. The name I'm gonna put out is pick box. PIC box, picture box. I click enter. So now the picture should be the picture box. Now, after we change the name, we want to change the size. Okay. So we can give a minute to do so.
Remember you can zoom in.
Zoom in?
Yeah.
You can zoom in? I don't know.
Do you know how?
Wait a second.
You want to look like when I get that size.
Wait a second.
We did 400 with ID for the like the scale. Maybe 420, 500. Could be.
420 and 500 size, but it's how you zoom. Show you okay. Scale on your main display. Okay, so this should have something to make you. Okay, what about the view button? Can this view button allow you to zoom in and zoom out? Okay. I guess maybe they only have full screen. Okay. Okay. Anyway, so you change the name of picture pick back. Then we're gonna change the the size. So we go down. So the size right here is 406,124. So we're gonna change the size to 407, 206. Click enter. So it automatically becomes this. So we can put it up a little bit. So this is the picture box, which is ready for us to add the image. Okay, so we add the picture box. We add the we change the name of the picture box as pick box, and we change the size to 407, 206. Once you change the size, you have to move a little bit. So make it like this. Okay. Okay, so after that, we're gonna add the labels because we do have, if you look at the book, the final user interface should have this all be labels, right? The beach bike rental, this one, and this one, all be labels. Okay, the only thing not labeled is this picture box. And then you have 3 buttons. Okay, so we're gonna add the first label, which should show us like beach bike rental. Okay, so go back to the VB. The next part is we're gonna add our picture label, first label header. We go to label. Okay, we're gonna drag it to here. So you see here by default it's called the label 1, right? So you're gonna change the name and also change the text, right? You know, the text property is in charge of what to display. So when we have a label 1 right here, we're gonna change the name label 1. Okay, so I will change the name as LBL heading. LBL heading. Click enter. Okay. You know, LBL means this is a label object. So once we change the name of the label, instead of label 1, we have a LBL heading. Then we have to go to the text part, right? The text part is in charge of what it display. Double click label 1. We're gonna display the title, which is beach bike rentals. Click enter. So you see here, it shows you beach bike rental. Keep in mind, whatever display on your form is .txt part, okay, text part. You know, the profit.txt. So this should be label heading.txt should be the beach bike rentals. And of course, if you compare this one with the book, you're gonna find out they have different size and different font, right? So which means we're gonna do modification for the next few steps. We're gonna modify the font and the size. Okay, so go back to here, select the label heading, and we go to the font part. Well, okay, font F. What's the font part? Font right here, as you can see here. By default, it's always Microsoft Sans Serif 7.8. So we double click, it will open this window. Okay, so we have to choose our own size. And font should be cover black. So we choose the, you're ready to go? Cover, okay, cover black. Okay. Doesn't have a cover, doesn't have cover black. We just use cover, okay? Doesn't have cover black, we just use copper. Choose the copper and the font is black. Then we choose the size should be 18. Okay. The font is cover, font style is black, and the size should be 18. So by doing so, now your header label should display in the right way. Okay, so cover black and 18. And we select that, we click OK. And it should look like this. I'm gonna put it right here. So later on, we can make sure it's in the center. So we have our label 1 here, which is headed 1 here. And we have 5 minutes left. So we add another label, okay? Okay, so here, after you finish, it's tell you next step is to, we can make sure it's in the center. We can go to format. We can do the center inform horizontally. Okay.
I don't have that font.
This one is, this one is you go to the font, right? Go to here, double click. So COOPER. You can type it directly. So instead of search, as I always find it's easier, just type the name of your fund directly on this box. It will be easier for you to search. Really? COOPER. Now, if you don't have it, you just choose something similar. I'll give you minutes. You do so, okay? Okay. So once we finish, the size black 18, we click this label and go to format, and we click center in form and horizontal. So make sure it appear in the horizontal format, center in form horizontally. So we have this one in display in the center. Oh, you finished this project already? Okay, so we have this. Okay, so once we finish this, we're gonna do the next label, then we'll be done. Okay, then we drag another label, put it here under this. As you can see, by default, the system give you label 1. So we're gonna change the name. Well, the name we're gonna do is actually total cost. So this one, the next label is corresponding to this. Okay, like $9.99 per day. So what we will do is we're gonna change this one to label cost heading. So we go to the name section, double click, and we type LBL cost heading. LBL cost heading. Okay. LBL cost heading. Click enter. It becomes LBL cost heading. Okay. Then give me minutes to do so. Then go to next. Go to the text part. What do we want to display? We don't want to label 1, so we want to display $x.xx per day. Okay, so this is one of this, and then we can change the. After we type the text part, we're going to modify the font. Go to the font part. Double click. Now the size of this, the font should be same font. We don't change on the regular. We just have to make it bigger. So instead of 8, we'll make it 12. So that is the only thing we modify, the size. Change from 8 to 12, and then we can click OK. And then we go to the format, click this one, go to format, and go to center in the form horizontally, make it center. Now we're gonna stop it here. I know some of you guys just want to go home, so we're gonna continue this on next Monday. Yes. And please give me homework as soon as possible. I'll see you on next Monday. Okay.